Okay, we have to turn to words, and in the following installments, we'll talk about where English words derive from what language, not the meaning of words. This is something else. This is semantics, but the words themselves. Yeah, and of course, this is very intriguing in English, which had so many contacts with other languages, more than any other language I know. Okay, so this is that, and this is, of course, vocabulary, which we are going to concern ourselves with now. Of course, the common heritage is Anglo-Saxon. I mean, we remember, allegedly in 449, the Anglo-Saxons came from what is today Germany, and of course, they brought a language with them, which had many dialects, the Anglo-Saxon. This is, and of course, we have the very basic foundation of English vocabulary today is Anglo-Saxon. And the thing is, when you're not sure whether a word is of Anglo-Saxon stock or not, I mean, just please take a dictionary or the internet and look the word up in German. And if you have the same word in German as you have in English, it is of Anglo-Saxon stock. And I have to say this here, I can't understand scholars today who don't do that, talking about Old English and never refer to the closest ancestral language, or the closest language they have, German. Huh? Look at it. It's so easy. You don't even have to know the tongue. I mean, just get to the net and type in an English word and have the German correspondence. And if you have the same word, you can be sure it's of Anglo-Saxon stock. It has to be in 98% of all cases. There we go. As these here. Once again, David Crystal writing a book about English words without ever referring to German. How is that possible? Okay. It's my native tongue, I have to say that, but sometimes it really bugs me. So here you go. House and house, same word in German. Yeah? Town, Zaun, same word in German. Horse, Ross, man, Mann, wife, Weib, hound and Hund, and fowl and Vogel. Vogel in Old English, and so on. You see, these words correspond, and therefore they have to be Anglo-Saxon. As simple as that. This is the test. Okay. Generally speaking, everyday words in English are of Germanic origin. And when I say Germanic, I mean Anglo-Saxon or Nordic. Nordic is what the Vikings brought with them in the late 8th, 9th, 10th centuries. If you look at a conversation, this is a very casual conversation, up to date. No French word. It's all Germanic. Here, yeah. How are you doing? I'm fine. Are you? It couldn't be better. Just come back from my brother's. It's always fun seeing him and his wife. And children, of course. However, the weather could have been better. It rained cats and dogs. Not a French word in there. It's all Germanic. All Germanic. Okay? So you can have decent conversations without using a French word. Although probably 85% of all the words in English are French origin. Well, that's the first lesson. You don't need them. You can talk Germanic if you like. But, of course, there are also words of Latin origin the Anglo-Saxons already brought with them. Very early borrowings, and we should see that. Even before the Anglo-Saxons emigrated to the British Isles, they were in contact with Roman culture across the limes, for example. Here, the limes, so marking the border of the Roman Empire, German border. They had trade with the Romans, and here we go. And once again, loads of Latin words If you want to know whether these Latin words are very old, well, just find out whether they have a corresponding word in German. If we have, you see, they must have been borrowed when the Anglo-Saxons were still in Germany. So easy, huh? And if you just take the first 3, 4, 5, 6, I mean, they're all the same in German, yeah? Anker, Anker, Butter, Butter, Camp, Kamp, cheese, Käse, yeah? Chest, and so on, yeah? Cook, Koch. So these are words, yeah, of Roman origin. Yes, Latin words originally. Oh, sometimes you don't even see it. But I mean, very old borrowings which the Anglo-Saxons brought with them. Look at them: anchor, butter, camp, cheese, chest, cook, copper, devil, dish, fork, gem, inch, kitchen, mile, mill, mint, noon, pillow, pound, sack, tile, street, wall, wine. But then you see why they borrowed it. Because, I mean, usually they stand for cultural formations, which were entirely new to the Germanic people on the other side of the limes. I mean, just take the last 4. I mean, tiles, completely a Roman invention, and you took them over to tile, yeah, Latin tegula, by the way. They took those and, of course, copied them. I mean, they were not used to taking the Roman word. Street. Yeah, Romans built streets, Anglo-Saxons didn't, or Germans, or whoever, whatever you want to call these people. Roman word, yeah, as is walls, building walls, yeah, out of stone and something, and wine, of course, no wine in Germanic territory, and so on and so on. So yes, we should see this. I mean, of course, in the beginning, they took over Latin words, which stood for something, concepts, things that didn't exist in Germanic culture. Here we are. They didn't have cheese. Got that from the Romans. Okay. Here we go. There's only a footnote here. But what we are still struggling with today, and I included that here, I don't know why I did, but modern weekdays, talking about this, still Anglo-Saxon, talking about Anglo-Saxon word hoard, which we are struggling with, because, I mean, they stand for pagan gods, Monday, the moon god, and you still find this in French, lundi is Luna, which is the moon as well. Tuesday is Tiv, the god of war. You have Mardi in French, Mars, god of war too. Yeah, you see, in French you have the Roman gods, the corresponding Roman gods, and in English you have the Germanic gods, as you have in Wednesday. Terrible spelling, but why? Yeah, because it's Wednesday, it's Woden, doesn't have anything to do with wedding. Mercredi is Mercury, corresponding god. Thursday, very intriguing. Thor is the one who sends you thunder. Thor. Thursday. Jeudi in French is Jove, Jupiter, the thunder god as well. Friday, Freya, the goddess of love in Germanic culture, and Vendredi refers to Venus. Same thing, goddess of love with the Romans. Saturday is the only Roman god the Anglo-Saxons cultivated, if you like. Saturn, the Roman god. As you have in Samedi, Sambatum, it's Saturn as well. Long shot. And Sunday is the sun god, the highest god, and Dominicus, yes, dimanche in French. What I want to say here is, of course, the Anglo-Saxons were pagans back in those days, cultivating pagan gods, and had pagan denominations for the weekdays. Here we are, which are still with us up to the present day. Okay, And then I talked about these blokes as well. The Vikings came between 800 and 1000. And of course, there are loads and loads of Scandinavian words, which I would like to talk about now. The Nordic influence on English vocabulary. And then you see already, I mean, the English and the Norsemen trading was very romanticized painting, of course, of those days. But it means to, I mean, it's, yeah, that they were living closely together when the Anglo-Saxon first, in the middle of the 9th century, stayed in Britain and they mingled. And this means we have a big northern influence on English vocabulary. As you can see in a lot of street names, place names, yeah, everything with B and Thorpe and oft and beck and ness and thwaite or something like this is all of Scandinavian origin. Don't want to read them out. Can't pronounce them anyway, most of them. But Derby I can, but yes. But there you see, I mean, the Norsemen, they settled north of the River Thames. Isn't it Thames? Yeah, north of the Thames and the Watling Street, more or less, yeah? A line from London to Chester, if you take that. And north of it, the Scandinavians settled and loads of place names, of course, north of that line. The linguistic influence, yes, as I said, it's in north of England. But why do we have so many words of Scandinavian origin in English today? Although our modern English derives from Southern English. So when I say the influence is north of the Watling Street, more or less, so why do we have it? And I have to give you this explanation now. I mean, it's a good question, but we have it because, I mean, yes, the Viking influence is first of all north, in the northern provinces, if you like, in the Danelaw, we call it. And then in the 13th and 14th centuries, we had strong migrations in Middle English times from the north to the south, particularly to London. Those people brought these Scandinavian words with them. And this is why we have a very strong Scandinavian influence today. Yes, first of all, the north, but then the migration from the, by the way, overpopulated north to the south, and there we have them in the standard. Usually these words separated English lexically from German. I said this. You still have the red words here. They are the Germanic words, German words, Stefan, Weerpan, Nimman, Wirt, and so on. And they were replaced by Scandinavian words. Yeah, so Scandinavians came in with die, okay, and therefore the old Stefan disappeared or became starve in this respect. Yeah, Weerpan disappeared completely and was replaced by cast. Okay, take Nimman, the German Nehmen, was replacing Nimman, Nehmen, and root replaced Wirt, which we still have in German Wurzel. So yes, that's the one thing. I mean, what I said before, find correspondences in German. Yes, okay. If you can't find them, well, look at northern words first of all. Yeah. It was very Germanic, but those Germanic words like die, cast, take, root, which you can't find in German, well, they have to be of Viking stock. They have to be of Viking stock, replacing Anglo-Saxon native words. Okay, we will take it from here. Okay, answering the question, why did Old English and Old Norse mix so easily in the first place? This is going to be in the next installment. Thank you.